Buffalo Bills wide receiver Gabriel Davis is ready.
Is caught at the 25-yard line, and in he goes. Gabriel Davis, touchdown Buffalo.
Davis has paid his dues on special teams and as the team's best blocker among all of the skilled positions. At 6'2" and now a solid 223 pounds, Davis is more than willing to do the dirty work with the hog mollies in the box. He's got the size and strength to be a force at the point of attack, and the Bills maximize that in the run game. On just about every long run, especially runs that attack the edges of the defense, Davis can be seen setting the alley. Davis was routinely utilized as a down block at the point of attack on what coaches call crack toss. Davis was responsible for setting the edge, generally on a defensive end or outside linebacker. His down block allowed his teammates who are uncovered to get out in space, which will give the Bills offense a leverage and numbers advantage while getting the ball out into the open field, which is incredibly important when you don't have running backs who possess the type of speed to consistently win the edge themselves. Davis was exceptional at creating displacement on opposing defenders, which would reset the line of scrimmage in favor of the Bills offense and allowed runners to turn upfield, like this crack toss touchdown against the Jets. On this play, Davis gets positional leverage on the defensive end. By boxing him out, right tackle Spencer Brown was able to pull out into space to get an angle on the forced defender. But we also got to see the nastiness Brown plays with. Ooh, that looks like it hurt. Once Davis locked onto corners or safeties, he was going to take them for a ride down the field, giving his teammates lanes to advance the ball for first downs or touchdowns. He was just incredibly reliable as a blocker, tight to the formation or out in space. Like on this play against New Orleans, the Bills shift Knox into the formation, which identifies the coverage as zone. The Bills have what essentially boils down to a tight end screen to Knox dialed up, with him running the slide route from the boundary. As the ball is snapped, the slot defender shifts inside to become the 7th run defender if the Bills run it, a tactic defenses used a bunch last season. But that made Davis's job of walling off the forced defender that much easier. The ball gets thrown outside the hashes, Davis gets positional leverage on the slot defender, and drives him downfield, which means the secondary force player, safety Marcus Williams, has to come from depth to tackle Knox. He comes down fast and out of control, and Knox is able to cut it upfield for the touchdown. As the season wore on and the Bills committed to running the ball and using 21 and 12 personnel more, Davis's roles were woven into the fabric of the offense. And that's when we got to see him not only play more, but showcase some of the skills as a receiver that we saw in his rookie year. Some traits that not many other receivers on the Bills offense have, such as his size. He's a bigger bodied receiver who can use his body to box out corners when they're looking to make a play at the catch point. Davis shows special body control on passes from Elam. He can adjust to inaccurate passes mid-air, catch it with his hands, and then pirouette right back into stride, which can help him gain yardage after the catch. Davis's boundary awareness or ability to reel in passes along the sidelines and back lines of the end zones is uncanny. Here the Bills are running a leak concept off of play action. And let's be honest here, this isn't the best ball thrown by Elam. But Davis is able to adjust to the inaccurate pass, track the ball, which is incredibly difficult given the contact he receives from the Jets defenders. His size and strength help him absorb the contact so that he can stay in position to catch the ball as it drops in. The Jets defenders stay in the play and get a piece of the ball, but Davis remained focused on the ball and where he was along the boundary. The second-year player secured the ball, then showed off that toe drag swag along the sideline to give the Bills a first down in the low red zone. Davis is one of the few targets with size, and I think that is why Elam and the Bills staff trusted the young wide receiver so much on RPO routes, especially those routes that broke to the middle of the field. Off corners and deep safeties would have to work through him in order to stop Davis, and Elam trusted that the ball would end up in Davis's hands if put somewhere in his area code, especially in the red zone. In the divisional round, Brian Daboll dialed up an RPO with a third-level read. The safety, Kyle Duggar, is the conflict defender. Will that defender come downhill to defend the run, or stay back and leave his gap open? Duggar takes a cheese as all of his keys tell him it's a run, so he comes downhill. This allows Davis to run a 5-step slant to the middle of the field. Elam throws a sidearm pass low and out in front of Davis. This allows Davis to catch it away from his body, but more importantly, away from the Patriots' corner. And that corner can't make a play on the ball because he's unable to work through or around Davis. Touchdown Buffalo. His alignment on run plays and effectiveness as a blocker were all over his film, and at times, it's all defenses needed to see in order to sell out against the run. So the Bills had run plays with pass tags attached, so they could slip Davis out of the backfield if they got a certain look. Here is their Cobra call, which is a power run play. But the offense can run Cobra with a pass tag attached, where Davis leaks out. I'm sure you guys remember this play. The Bills ran it for 2 big plays against the Saints, one to Knox and once to Davis. It was one of their go-to concepts in short yardage situations, kind of like this 4th and 2 from the Panthers game. Here the Bills are looking to close the game out, so they send out 21 personnel and settle into a twins formation. Davis motions into the formation, appearing to motion in to block Hassan Reddick. Elam takes a snap, opens clockwise as the right guard Cody Ford pulls left. All of these keys scream power run. So several Panthers defenders fire downhill, or at the very least, have their eyes in the backfield with run on their minds, including Stephon Gilmore. He gets caught sleeping, and Davis leaks out and drives a dagger into the Panthers. This seems like the perfect time for the... Alright, enough of us clowning Gilly Lock. Davis's reception distribution chart from 2021 uncovered some interesting tidbits. Nearly 42% of his targets came in the intermediate area, so from 10 to 19 yards, including 24 receptions for 419 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's over a 5% increase in targets in that area, 11 more receptions, 236 more yards, and 5 more touchdowns than all of his rookie season. The Bills scaled his deep ball percentage back, either by design or because defenses were playing too high shells more often in 2021. But either way, Davis was counted on to make those intermediate receptions his quarterback's favorite area to attack week in and week out, especially when the offense executed play action. So often we saw Elam find Davis on the intermediate to deep areas on curl or dig routes against single high looks. If the defense wanted to shade to Diggs' side of the field, that just gave Davis more room to maximize leverage on the outside corner and post safety. Aside from being the reliable pass catcher in the intermediate area of the field, Davis was a beast at catching touchdowns in the middle of the field. 9 of his 11 touchdowns were right down Broadway. 4 were deep, 4 in the intermediate area, and 1 in the short area. Those 9 touchdowns tied him for the most touchdowns in the middle of the field with Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp. But what was even more interesting was how effective and important he was versus those 2 high safety shells. Among wide receivers with at least 25 targets against cover 2 man, cover 4, cover 6, or red zone cover 2, Davis was 8th in touchdowns, 2nd in yards per route run, 1st in first down percentage, converting all 14 receptions into first downs, 2nd in average depth of target at 16.8 yards, 1st in average depth of catch at 17.7 yards, and finally, 3rd in EPA per target at 0.7. While Davis answered general manager Brandon Beane's wish to run a tad slower at the combine to keep him at an attainable level in the draft, Davis can still run by defenders, even when the coverage is meant to contain the deep pass. Davis has shown that he can bust bracket coverages. He roped in 8 receptions for 283 yards and 4 touchdowns on passes over 20 yards. While he had 1 less deep touchdown than his rookie season, he was still tied 4th in deep receiving touchdowns. Not a bad touchdown rate considering he was only targeted 18 times, caught 8, and 4 of which were touchdowns. On this memorable deep shot from the divisional round, the Bills have a variation of their tin concept, which just means 2 in routes. But as you can see in the coaching point, if Davis sees cover 4, he is supposed to convert his route into a post route. So the post by Davis and the in route by Knox are meant to stress the deep safety Juan Thornhill. With Knox running the deep in route, Thornhill should probably take the tight end with his teammate Charvarius Ward falling deep over Davis. But Thornhill slow plays Knox's route. He stays deep, leaving Knox open, but begins to open his hips to Knox. That is Allen's cue to hit Davis deep, even when he should probably hit Knox right down the middle. The gunslinger played chicken with Thornhill, and Allen didn't bat an eye.
Sometimes one play is all it takes.
Firing downfield, and it is caught at the 25-yard line, and in he goes. Gabriel Davis, touchdown Buffalo. Holy mackerel. One play, 75 yards.
And that brings me to the final trait that makes me think he is ready to be wide receiver 2 in 2022. Mental toughness. He showed in the divisional round and throughout the season that he could come through in the clutch. He made a big play when Allen needed him, when his team needed him. Davis got big in a big moment in the game against the Bucs, against one of the better press man cover corners in Sean Murphy-Bunting. With Murphy-Bunting choking the release of Davis, Davis has to get an outside release and sell the goal ball. On the snap, he releases outside and fires out low as if he is going to keep his head down and run deep. Once he feels a corner getting over the top, he snaps a route off and executes a throw by to create separation from the talented corner. To maintain that separation, he comes back for the ball. He quickly drops his pad level and turns into a runner. He puts his shoulder into the big corner and then fights and drives and fights for the first down. A pivotal moment in a poignant game that many on the team believe jump-started their playoff run. When Davis was targeted on 3rd or 4th down, he converted 93.3% of those passes into first downs, which led the team. His 4 touchdowns and those gotta-have-it moments were second behind Stephon Diggs' 5 touchdowns. Davis proved in just about every situation that he could win one-on-ones when Allen was pressured or blitzed. He proved that he sees defensive coverages in the same way that his superstar QB does. In those moments when coverage is good or Allen misses that first passing window and is extending the play, Davis will find a way to reel the ball in as long as Allen gives him a shot. And even when the odds are against him in the offense, Davis has shown that he can run a route so deadly that it makes a professional corner weak in the knees.
Watch the route up top, 13, right there, Davis. Oh my goodness.
Davis has paid his dues behind some very talented wideouts over the last couple of years. He's learned every wide receiver position in the Bills' offense and has produced from all of them. I think year 3 is when Davis steps up into a lead role and shows that he's finally ready.